Hey everyone, welcome to the Human Cloud Podcast, the spot where entrepreneurs, innovators, and yes, you corporate warriors drive the freelance economy forward. So today we have, I'm going to butcher this last name, I apologize, Pavel. We have Pavel Shynkarenko. Pavel is the definition of someone that's been busy building and actually driving traction because they started from a problem rather than having good marketing buzz or trying to take a solution and find a problem. Now, Pavel leads Solar Staff. Solar Staff, using sort of US terms, is a payment processor, is a freelance management system, is a private talent cloud company, whatever buzzword we want to throw on it right now, because these buzzwords are quickly changing. But in Pavel's words, they handle the contracting and they handle the payment of independent contractors worldwide with a focus on Eastern Europe. Now, there's a couple of reasons that I can't wait for you to hear this episode. The first is I just love listening to entrepreneurs like this, entrepreneurs that came from a place of experiencing the problem themselves and working from problem to solution. Second thing is that I want you to hear how Pavel looks at technology in this space. And then third, I want you to really listen for why he didn't build a marketplace. And so Pavel back in 2012, 2013, 2014 was running a law firm. And one of his clients had asked him, hey, can you help us organize this independent contractor workforce? And so he looked and he realized it was a much bigger problem than this one client. And this was back in 2014. So in 2014, they created what is now Solar Staff. And it was the contracting and it was the payment of independent contractors in Eastern Europe. And what they noticed was that from 2014 to now, there's been massive growth, but new types of industries really leaning in. And so 2014, there was tech companies. And that makes sense, right? Most tech companies are over half contingent or half external. And most tech companies, the actual software development is not happening in the US. It's usually happening in Eastern Europe or India. And come 2018, it then turned into marketing agencies. Come 2020, it then turned into online education and gaming. And so he's really seen new types of industries really adopt this. The second thing, though, in terms of the tech, what I want you to listen for is how he really thinks about APIs and how APIs unlock the ability to really mobilize and organize the independent contractors that you have. One of the main questions I had for him was, why didn't you just build a marketplace, right? Why get into this? Why not build a marketplace? And his answer was that the companies already have the talent. They just don't know how to mobilize it and organize it. And then the last thing I want you to hear for is AI, right? You can't get rid of this buzzword right now, but there's actually some tactical proof. And for him, they started using it about 2 years ago. And what he had told me was, back then it was only working 67% of the time. Now it's starting to work over 80% of the time. And they're starting to see that using AI to help their customers fill out the contracts is where AI is starting to get better than the humans. So listen, you're going to love this episode with Pavel. I want you to just, number one, learn from an incredible entrepreneur. Number two, see where the space is going. And number three, really geek out on the tech and really geek out on someone that this was not a marketing spin whatsoever. Literally, I asked him, well, how'd you describe your company? He said, we do the deal and we do the payroll. Then we do the payment. So with that, go and drive some change in the freelance economy. Pavel, welcome to the Human Cloud Pod. Thank you so much for hopping on. Listeners out there, as I was just telling Pavel, he is the second sort of inbound request we've allowed. So usually it's invite only. And as you all know, it's a small space. So Pavel, I warned him, I said, hey, no PR speak. Super grateful to be connected with you. And this is exciting because you've never met me. So this is going to be a good sort of first time intro to us. Totally recorded. I'm going to ask you all the personal questions, not just messing with you. But so Pavel, first, where are you currently residing right now?
Now I'm in Cyprus, very sunny island.
It looks so nice.
And I live here last couple of years. Before I lived in Amsterdam, before in Riga, before in Hong Kong, before in Moscow, before in Kharkov.
Oh my God. Okay, so what's been your
Yeah, yeah.
favorite spot? Because myself, I've kind of bounced around as well, and there's some places that just stick with you. So what about you?
It's a mix. I like weather here in Cyprus, especially during the winter time. Uh, it's so amazing and good. 300 sunny days per year. It's really a lot. Yeah, but I like Amsterdam. It's a free city and very interesting for me. I like Moscow, especially uh, 5 years ago. It was a really interesting and funny place and amazing city.
Yeah. So when you mentioned Hong Kong, so I lived in Singapore for a while, and that place will
Oh,
always stick
Hong
with me.
Kong too crowded,
Too
too
crazy.
crowded.
That's exactly what I
Like,
imagined. Especially seeing the
well,
life you have now.
yeah, uh, an awful architecture, especially in some kind of districts. It looks like I don't know. Uh, you feel yourself like a small bee inside a huge, I don't know, environment. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So let's hit it straight on what you're working on now, and then we're gonna go back to sort of how you got to here. Because looking, publicly, fascinating background. Looking at the problem, the challenge that you're going after, incredible. Can't wait to jam on it. So let's start by sort of what are you doing right now?
Um, I'm CEO of the Solar Staff. We provide the freelance management solution for the companies who works with the freelance team. We specialized on the cross-boarding freelance management and cross-boarding payments, and we love to connect US-based and European companies with freelancers from um, eastern part of Europe, Asia, and other developing countries. And there is our main solution for now. And we also have a startup. We will launch next month the application for the freelancers, AI-based sales assistant for freelancers, for professionals. That's my two main business activities. Also, I'm involved in art. I'm a photographer, an artist, meta-modernistic one. Uh, Now you can see my exhibition in New York, in Brooklyn, one of the galleries. And my last exhibition was during the Swim Week in Miami a couple of months ago. Yeah. So what?
Was there like Art Week this weekend in New York City? Are you
Oh, sorry,
familiar?
I don't know.
No. So John, so
No.
my business partner is obsessed with art, and he lives in New York
Oh,
City. So he will probably buy some of your stuff. But so
yeah.
what got you to here? Because what I hear is, cross border compliance, classification, payment from Eastern and European and American companies into Eastern Europe. Now, it's no secret that most software is not being actually developed or built in San Francisco, right? So, what is it? Strategy is happening in Menlo Park slash San Francisco slash Silicon Valley, but then the execution is definitely not happening somewhere as expensive or talent shortage ridden as the U.S. So it's no secret that Ukraine, Eastern Europe, you name it, that's where most software development's happening. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And not only, but we work not only with the technicians, with the software developers. We help companies to manage their freelance forces in online education, in marketing, design, so many fields and industries that we covered, more than 3,000 types of works and services. Uh, and we recognize I, we recognize the trend of freelance in 2000, 2014 when we start our business. That time was not so uh, not so huge market. But I think a couple of years ago, especially during the pandemic, that the remote work and the project task-based working and the freelance speeded up.
Tell us what you were doing before, because you were you a lawyer prior? Because looking at your background, right, civil law. Let
Yeah.
let's get into the pre 2014, right? Why even get into this crazy space of the freelance economy?
Yeah. Uh, I I had a legal practice, my own legal firm, and I helped internet companies to open the offices in many different countries and manage their legal, not the problems, but some kind of issues. And one time, it was 2009, yeah, 2009 or 2010, I received two requests from the CPA networks. They asked me to help them to organize that contract between webmasters and the CPA networks in Ukraine, in Russia, in eastern part of Europe, and they uh, asked me, please do something with that because one step left, one step right, it's illegal totally. We would like to do something with that and fix it. And I collect a lot of experience in that field and try to solve the problem. And I did it once, twice. On third time, I think, oh, I think it's a huge request. Let's try to do something like a business in that field, in that area.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. I mean, let's get into who exactly you're starting to see as customers and why they're caring so much. What I mean by that, so I've seen it a couple times just in the past year of we like to say freelance economy, and a lot of times it's coming out of Europe and US, and so you have Europe or US based leaders helping with freelance program initiation, onboarding, you name it, all of that. But then end of year comes and there's a massive tax bill from a government of a country in Eastern Europe or India or you name it. And the leader is going, what the hell? I didn't expect this to happen. Whose fault is this? Is this the marketplace's fault? Is this our fault? Long story short, they just got in over their head in terms of hiring freelancers in jurisdictions that they really weren't as buttoned up for as they should have been. So help me understand sort of what do you hear from your customers and who are your customers?
When we started, uh, our customers were technological companies, and they use a lot of freelancers involved in the process of software engineering, engineering, design, software development, etc., something like that. Um, I think in 2018, we received the fast growing marketing sector and especially some kind of agency that works with the bloggers, influencers, webmasters, and so on. It was the time of social media marketing. Yeah. When it becomes so massive and huge, a lot of brands um, come into that activity and they face with the problem. For example, I have a huge brand and I have to conclude 1,000 deals and pay 100 euro, but 1,000 times. And when they calculate the cost of concluding that deal, they was they were afraid
Yep.
because concluding the deal cost much more than the deal.
Yep. Yep.
And we start to help those huge companies to manage the freelance forces, to build their own private talent clouds. It looks like a cloud of possible suppliers for the future. They make that clouds using our solution, and after them they use and reuse that freelance forces in their activity, and we help them to manage that, concluding deals and make the payments.
Yeah.
Only two things.
So literally, so contracting and payments. And
Yep.
what I'm hearing, which is fascinating. So 2014 is when you started to see tech companies at first saying, "Hey, help us organize and manage," or actually, back to your words, help us contract and pay Eastern European freelancers. Come 2018, we start to see digital marketing. Now,
Yeah, and after then it was the COVID time, and we received a lot of online education. It was a fast-growing time for online education, and a lot of companies who are providers of online educational platforms start to use freelancers for the home task checking, for some kind of working with speakers, and it was a boom
so
of
interesting.
online education. It was the COVID time. Yeah, and in that time, we also received the boom of online gaming industry, and they start to use a lot of freelancers, either influencers and some kind of referrals and testing users, focus groups,
Everything.
so many.
So
Yeah.
let's get into when we say freelancer, right? What are we talking about? Because in the US and Europe, especially US, I think we're starting to get to a place where when we say freelancer, most people understand, right? It's like a good enough definition. But when we say freelancer in an Eastern European context, what are we talking about? Are we talking about individuals working 40 hours a week just on a freelance contract? Are we talking about individuals that do have 2 to 5 clients at one time? What what is a freelancer in an Eastern European context?
Uh, we have no Eastern European context. We have the context in each country, and sometimes it's really different. Yeah, inside the Europe, if you ask someone in Netherlands about the freelance, it will be something close to US and UK understanding of that. If you start to ask about that in Latvia, for example, you will receive the totally different answer. For example, but in general, when we speak about the freelancers, we speak about independent contractors who work project by project base.
Gotcha. And what do these projects usually look like? Like, are we talking? We're just saying 6 months. Are we talking deliverable based?
No,
What? Yeah.
do something for that.
Okay.
You have to do something, the project,
Yeah.
and receive some kind of amount, the payment.
Okay. And are you seeing any commonalities? Do you educate your clients on how they should be doing this? What is it all over the place, right? In terms of there's really no way to put like an average ticket size or ticket length or what do you see in there?
We give them the tool
Okay.
with a lot of possible settings,
Gotcha.
but they use some settings, sometimes not.
Gotcha.
But we do not push them. Do strictly that way or this way. No,
Gotcha.
there is their decision, their deal.
Gotcha. And I wonder how have you seen, so this is so fascinating in terms of literally breaking down the years of seeing different industries start to lean in. How have you seen the clients grow? Right? In my case, 10 years ago, if I went into a company and said, hey, do you want to hire a freelancer? They'd laugh me out the building, right? If I said, hey, do you want to hire a consultant? They'd go, yes, sounds good. What's your firm? But nowadays, in the US at least, want to hire a freelancer? Pretty easy, right? It's now a yes, we do. Tell me how to get there. Now, in your case, how have you seen the client journey evolve in your case since 2014?
Uh, we have a lot of companies who, which use our service during all that years, and we become the part of their business processes. And one time, we even received the funny situation when our one of our client was sold. It was an M&A deal, and the new owner of our client, when they recognize, oh, some kind of solution we do not understand, and cancel our contract, and they receive the strike, and their managers ask them, please come back, solar stuff for us, because all that paperwork we hate it. Yes. No paper. We would like to press a button. No any kind of signing the contract and paperwork. No, never. It was a funny situation. Yeah. I think at that time, I understand that we built really something interesting.
So for you, that is the painkiller. Is, you start to use us, you start to integrate us into the business process because contracting and paying is a mess, right? You kind of take it for granted, right? And so, you're starting to hire 1,000, 10,000, independent contractors. And I love that. Let's use the definition of independent contractor. I think that's good. And then a year down the road, 2 years down the road, they go, we don't really need this. And then their workers go on strike because contracting, payroll, you name it, is all impacted. So I love that. Now, where do you see, let's try to balance high level, macro, micro. Where do you see the freelance economy going? Because one thing I hear from you that I love is this is not and I'm going to give, sometimes what we see in the US is someone will have really, really good marketing speak, right? And they'll talk a big game about the marketplace they're creating or the disruption they're creating. But then you go, how many customers do you have, right? What's your volume? And you realize real quick, they're just talking sexy marketing speak. Where with you, it's the opposite, right? It was, you had a law firm, 2014, you start to see this bigger opportunity to help these companies manage their independent contractors. And what it seems like, Pavel, to be honest, is it seems like you're adjusting to customer demand, not just making marketing stuff up and making it look good. But so, and listen,
I wasn't good in marketing. Yeah, only in building some kind of product. Yeah,
which I love, and I can't wait to look at the demo, to be honest. But so let's, where do you see this industry going over the next 2 to 4 to 5 years? And actually, I want to make sure I call out, you haven't explicitly said the word talent cloud, yet here in the US, you can't walk 2 feet without hearing private talent cloud, private talent cloud, private talent cloud, or are you building a private talent cloud? So you're not saying it from a way of marketing speak, but goddamn, Pavel, you should be branding talent clouds everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, I will. About the industry and the future possibilities and the freelancers, I think we will see a lot of freelance specialists, but less freelance managers in the future, because I think the management team will be a core staff inside the corporations in the future, and maybe we will see less remote manager, but more remote specialists working with the companies and the corporations in the future. And it will be some kind of hybrid teams. You will see the managers sitting in some kind of meeting rooms instead of offices and manage all the remote teams, freelance forces, independent talents works on some kind of project with that managers. I think it will be something like that. More freelance specialists, less freelance managers.
So you, my friend, I I would agree long term. I would not disagree, but say that I don't trust enterprises enough to make that much of a seismic leap in terms of, because one of the fastest growing segments we're actually seeing is freelance project managers, which it's mostly because enterprises don't want to trim the fat. And instead of saying, what should this role be? Or what are the skills we need? They're saying, okay, we already have this amount of people. Or how do we optimize the current state of people we have? Uh,
No.
I think we'll see. That's what we're seeing.
We will
But
see.
yeah, we'll see. And so,
I think the management of the freelance force and the management of the remote teams, it not the similar, but nearby each other. And in nowadays, I think more than half of all corporations and companies use remote teams. Thanks COVID.
yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
we thought that we already received that. Of course, some of them wasn't prepared enough for that.
Yep.
They do not know how it could be managed, that hybrid teams, remote teams, dedicated teams, they do not know anything about the management, the project management, the remote team management. How does it work? Why it doesn't work if you just continue doing strictly the same that you doing inside the office space, and you do not, if you lose the control of the timing, you think, oh, I lose control on my workforces. No, if you make the control of the results of the work instead of working hours, it makes your life easier and open the new possibilities for you and for your business. If you try to measure the results instead of working hours, you're a winner.
Yeah. Yeah. So couldn't agree more. I think the headline is, shifting towards outcomes instead of working hours is crucial, right? And I think the way you're putting it, so one of the big things in our industry is like, we're talking about talent access or talent ownership, right? And I would say lazy leadership, if I'm being honest, it would be great if everyone on my team was sitting in one room where I could just walk by and say, hey, what's going on here, right? In a perfect world, right? In terms of most leaders, they would never say it publicly, but god damn would they love everyone to be, whoever they wanted to be on their team to be sitting in one room just waiting for them to say, okay, what should I take action on? Or proactively taking action. Now, that's not the reality, right? We have massive talent shortages. It's insanely inefficient, insanely costly to be inefficient now. And so, to your point, shifting out to outcomes is what makes more sense in today's environment, not 50 years ago, but in today's environment. Now, I got to ask you about your own team, right? When you're building a company, how do you build it now? Do you build it mostly with independent contractors? Do you still follow a typical management structure? What does your company look like?
We have our core team and all our top managers and middle-sized management, our employees. But we have a lot of contractors independent contractors inside our team. I think more than 30%. I didn't measure in the number of the people, but when I start to look on a budget,
Yeah.
a bit more than 36% of whole cost of human resources belongs to the freelance team.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say? So here's a topic for you. What is the purpose of a freelance marketplace? Because when looking at you in marketplaces, there's
It was many years ago when I started to think, should we open the marketplace inside our project or not? And we decided to stay a tool without the marketplace, because the freelance for me, it's so individual, and the marketplace, it's about different types of activity for me. And I think all the marketplaces, or a huge part, huge piece of that business, will move into the platforms, the specialized platforms, when you do not choose someone, where you do not choose an individual, but you choose the type of work. So, Uber-like. Yeah, you do not care about who is the driver.
Yeah.
You receive the service instead of some kind of personal. And I think the freelance will be more and more individual instead of the platforming. And we will see a lot of platforms specialized on some kind of industries, on design, on software engineering, and so on and so on. And we already see that. But step by step, when you start your freelance career, you will go to the marketplaces, to the platforms. It will be the first step into the profession, where you can receive the first experience, the first client, some kind of first steps. After then, when you recognize, when you understand, okay, yeah, I think I'm a designer, I would like to specialize and focus on that. I would like to build my own network, my own portfolio, my own. I don't need the marketplace.
Yeah.
But not on the starting years, on the starting months. I think everyone has different speed and different goals. Maybe you do not want to grow yourself as a specialist. You would like to receive the flow of small tasks, and that's enough for you, and that's enough that you earn on that platform, and it's good.
Yeah.
Because if it's good for you, it's good for the platform, it's good for your customers. Okay, it's your choice.
Yeah. Now I got to ask you, right? So why? And if I were to summarize that, which we're seeing, based off the data, we're seeing that the days of horizontal marketplaces are dead, or they're diminishing.
I do not like the dead.
Diminishing. The service is tough. Yeah, and let me clarify that. The horizontal marketplaces at scale are extremely tough. And so they work with small ticket sizes. So they work with more task, gig based type tickets. They struggle when having to go more type SOW type work, outcome type work that really requires the individual freelancer to be more so of a fractional leader / consultant. So for example, you're not going to find $15,000 plus projects on these large horizontal marketplaces, whereas the vertical ones you will, right? So if you're going to go do an ad campaign, you're not going to have the bulk of your spend go towards a horizontal marketplace. You're going to go with a vertical one that can help you with the scoping and really, really prove that you have the. So thanks for the call out. That's how I'd put it. But so when looking at your decision to go marketplace versus and how would you describe yourself, by the way? Would you call yourself a freelancer management system, or what's like the buzzword you'd put?
Oh, it's a very difficult question. We try so many things, and now we say we have a solution for freelance deals and payments.
I can't, Pavel, I can't wait to see what you say tomorrow. I hear you. I totally hear you. But boy, boy, is that not sexy in a way that I love personally. But boy, is that not sexy. But when looking at why not create a marketplace, to me, when I hear that, is the assumption. So all your clients are coming to you already with a contractor workforce, right? And they're just saying, exactly. Do you think that is sustainable, that over the next 5 years, clients are going to come with an existing book of contractor databases? Or okay.
I tell you, I will tell you more. Now we 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 start our next project for the freelancers. On opposite side, we would like to give them the solution for invoicing, tax reporting, getting paid, all the headache solved in one solution. Just some kind of assistant for independent contractors that help with all the routine operation. When we open that, we will receive the new freelancers and their customers in our first project. That is the plan. Let's see how it works.
My friend, we got so many people to connect you with. I'll just give little plugs. Wethos over there by Rachel Rennick is a great person you should connect with ASAP. The freelance operating system lens, it's a tough business. It's a tough business to exist on its own. And so in 2020, we founded a venture-backed company called Venturel. Same thing. We were a freelancer operating system. We did every single thing we possibly could do from a software perspective. We recreated Trello. We recreated a CRM system. We enabled invoicing. We enabled peer-to-peer referrals in a way that you could do it easily across Slack and email, but then also track it to have the visibility. I know. Pavel, we tried everything. Okay. We iterated probably over 60 times, and we could get usage, but we couldn't get profitability. And so we could get people coming back weekly, but at scale, we could not get an actual standalone profitable business model around getting freelancers, around helping freelancers manage their business. Now, with that said, it gave us incredible data on who was actually good. And so I think we were a product of time, not necessarily how bad we were, because if you look at a product like Wethos, right, like perfect timing, they're doing that. But so, my friend, we will talk about that later. Don't you worry.
I will be happy to continue our conversation.
But so listen, so sort of closing out here, I think what's so clear to me is every single company needs to be talking with you about how to have a talent pool, right? And how to really have you handle contracting and payroll. Now, last actually kind of theme / question. Are you seeing this with large enterprise clients? Are you working with mid clients? Are you working with small businesses? What kind of clients are you seeing this really take off with?
Yeah, we our audience, those kind of companies, to manage more than 10 people as the freelancers in more than 2 countries.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. And does that mean it's a, so two plus
Yes, it's
countries?
it's medium and huge companies. I
That's what I
think
thought.
medium, yeah, also medium ones,
And are
but
they?
not so small. When you have the small business, you have a lot of freedom. You
Yeah.
can do not pay attention into all that paperwork,
Yeah.
all that shit and stuff, and do it later.
You can get away with stuff.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But when you grow and receive a lot of business processes inside,
Yep.
and it becomes more complicated and complicated, all the procedures, that time we can help you.
Are you seeing these companies? Are they coming to you and saying, "Hey, we want to use Solar Staff on its own"? Are they coming with, vendor management systems, MSPs, other marketplaces? So, for example, like they're already handling this in the US and
Mhm.
Europe, but with you, are they expecting you, like, are you seeing that they're working with others? And then are they expecting you to integrate with their others, or do they handle this as its own program?
Uh, yeah, we have two types of clients. One of them do not use any kind of software.
Okay.
Other ones have a lot of different types of software solution. It looks like a zoo.
Yep.
And for those kind of clients, we have an API to our system, and they connect our system into their systems, and it start to work together. Especially in that way, work e- e-commerce customers, online education customers, and software engineering companies. Um,
I love it. So there's something here that we'll figure out in the next couple of weeks, but there's something around the industry when looking at where the industry is going. A lot of people talk about how do you get the talent, how do you get the talent, how do you get the talent. You, my friend, are operating under, to me, under the hood of what's actually enabling the talent to be managed at scale. And you bring up a really interesting point. Once again, like a tiny thing that you said was around APIs. So if there's an API, then it's easier for companies to integrate this across, what they're already doing. I think, and we'll find out the right terminology for it. I think the API ecosystem might be one of the guiding principles to a successful company in the next 10 years. And meaning for the enablers, right? For the use and the marketplaces. So what do you see with AI? Right? You can just go off about how much you're glad no one's buying those stupid apes anymore for a lot of money. You can go off about how you think it'll change the world, how it'll do nothing. I'm just going to give you the space for the next 5 minutes. You know, tell me about AI in this space.
we start to use AI in our business 2 years ago, no, 3 years ago. We would like to simplify our product, especially build something that help freelancers to fill all that complicated forms about the contracting procedures. And the result was in 67% of cases, our system was really good, but it was not enough. But the miracle was that system has the same, almost the same percentage of success um, in many languages. Not so. important. Russian, Chinese, English, Ukrainian, doesn't matter. 67% of success. But that percentage was really, really low and do not allows us to use that in the main project, in the product line. But nowadays, we use a lot of different types of AI and start to look how we could increase that. And now we receive the percentage of more than 80. And it's really nearby the product line because human also make the mistakes. And the human rating of filling the forms is next to 90%. And I think we will receive the situation when AI really start to help our customers, our freelancers to receive the simple product that will understand their much better than just the forms. And there is one small thing. I start to use AI in my artwork this year. It was an amazing journey for me. I asked AI to build the psychological portrait of the personality for me, some kind of questionnaire and description, and after then recognize the description and build the abstract image. And it was really interesting and scary for me.
Tell me more. Why scary?
Why scary? It's about the. I was scary because I recognized that that tool, that instrument, could replace all the information search for me. Just give me an answer when I have a question. If you can ask your question many ways, 2 ways, 3 ways, 5 ways, and check the answer, it really helps you to understand, to receive the answer, the clear answer, finally.
Yeah.
Instead of looking, reading, watching, and so on.
Yeah.
Answer. You have a question, you have an answer. And that could totally change our work with information. And that scared me a bit.
That is fascinating. So that is fascinating. So listen, we got last rocket round. Okay, so you have 17 seconds to answer these next 3 questions. And this has been this is honestly, Pavel, this is my favorite part about this industry is once every 6 months I meet someone like yourself that I go, "Oh my God, where has he been?" And he's been building without having to yell about it. And this is solving 99% of problems that we see over and over and over and over, yet that most companies say they have, but they don't. And so I just like, this has been incredible for me. I wish we had longer, but it looks really sunny over there. And so I feel bad taking your time with such nice weather. But quick rocket round. First question is, where can we find you on a Friday or Saturday night?
This Friday, I will have the trip with Oriental Express on Oriental Express from Venice to Paris with my wife. You can find me there.
Whoa, that's incredible. Okay. Second question. What show or movie are you and your wife currently watching?
It was Open Gamer. If we will talk about the movies, and if we will talk about the shows, I have my favorite one. It's Crazy Horse in Paris.
That's so cool. Okay, we got 2 more left. What is your favorite book?
It's a difficult question. I think the favorite one. Um, I I give you an author, Brother Strugatsky. A lot of books, but on Russian. And my favorite one looks like Monday became what Saturday. It's the name of the book. Yeah.
That is incredible.
Very funny, very funny. It's very funny and clever, funny book.
So, okay, last question. Favorite animal and why?
Animal. mm, a dog. I have
A dog? A dog?
A beautiful one. Yeah, a beautiful one.
Dog?
A piece of happiness.
Yes, I have one looking at me right now. Pavel, where can our listeners go find you?
I have my own Instagram, vs Pavel. I will give you the link. I have my Facebook account for the words and Instagram for the pictures. You can write me an email. It's also possible on my workmate email, pavel@solar.com.
Pavel, thank you so much for hopping on the pod.
And thank you.